Good evening, my dear fellow humans. Today we want to see why people are free. Free to make their own sovereign existence, free to have security, free to resist suppression. As always, we should define words when we say them. The neoliberalism today has it made possible that the term freedom has become an empty phrase devoid of any meaning. And we will dive deep into this topic, freedom. Therefore, I brought this chart and dressed it properly. And the essence of the humans is always something very serious. And therefore, I would start with the first declaration of the human rights, which was done in 1789, I think, the French Revolution. Wrote down for the first time. It's not that they discovered or they simply wrote it down and make it clear for everybody. It's the first time it was written down so that everybody can see it and think about it. And they are the basis of our societies, or of the United Nations, or ought to be, let's say. Because, let's dive into it. The first article says that all humans are free. Again, what's freedom we will dive deeper into later. And equal in rights. Are all humans equal in rights? Well, does everybody get the lending hand when he needs it? Is everybody treated equally in front of the courts? You can judge this for your own. So the society, by the way, the Arabs say that the hand of a human is one, but all fingers are different. So meaning it's one family, but each individual is different. It's one tribe, but each individual is different. It's one religious group, but each individual is different. It's one nationality, and each individual is different. So no matter the egoistic group, each individual is different. And therefore, if you are free, then you should not run after those group ideologies. And, basically it's impossible to defend them because you are an individual, right? You have responsibility for your life. Yes, we are a part of society. Yes, we are part of a group. But still, this group depends on each individual, on the conduct of everyone. Okay. So the second article claims that the aim of a society is to defend and keep up those inalienable and natural human rights. And those rights are again freedom, security, resistance from suppression. So, this was formulated more than 200 years ago. And basically, you might ask yourself, are we really free or are we suppressed? Do we feel sometimes suppressed by work, by media, by technology, by all the hastening progress or something else? Ask yourself. The freedom itself is a topic for which we need assistance from the Renaissance. From a man who lived more than 600 years ago and wrote a very interesting, he wrote actually more than 900 theses, but the Oratio de Homini Dignity, the speech about the dignity of man, he wrote with 23. And this individual, by 23, studied the Holy Quran, or the Torah, and even the secret Jewish doctrine, the Kabbalah, the Bible, and the Greeks, and the Chaldeans, and the Persians, and the Egypts. And so he studied everything, like a good humanist would do, because wisdom can be found everywhere. It's not only there by one group, as we today might think. So, and he said, why are all those Muslims, Jews, Christians and Greeks and Persians and say that human is the most miraculous being. Why do they claim it's a chameleon? And here we go. Hereby we want to quote him or no. First, he really wanted to think this through, and he thought, well, the heavenly dome was created. The heavenly dome where we have the spirits and the angels. By the way, the angels are not defined by having no body, but they are defined by having reason. Here we have the sun and the stars and the moon and all the celestial bodies which can be found. And then we have the middle, which is called Midgard or Middle Garden by the Edda. This is the part where we have water rising up, falling down as rain, water rising up, falling down as rain. And where does it fall down? It falls into the earth. The earth is, of course, the other sphere which has been created. In contrast to the starry dome, we have the place where we have the worms and the minerals. And where we put the corpses, and where we have the stones. And in the Edda it is called Hel. Hel with one L, or hell in the Christian sense, I think. Hel. Or in the Egyptian, it was the fields of Amentet, where also Osiris was. Amentet. So in here we have the earth, basically. The earth consisting of water, I think more than 70%. By the way, the human body is more than 90%, depending on your age. Here we have all the water, and we have the mountains, which are rising out of the earth. We have the plants, which go with their roots into the earth, but rising up to the sunlight. The plants, and of course we have the animals. Animals. Yeah, something like a dog or a horse. So we have everything done. So here we have the middle part, or Midgard, like the Edda says. Here we have the starry dome, and here we have the earth. So, and everything was distributed, but it wouldn't be proper for the most wise creator to make everything perfect and then leaving one part out. And as we know from those stories, the human was the last creation, and since it's always the last one is the most miraculous being or most perfect being, they say, there was created man, but nothing was to be given unto man, because everything was already given here. So we have those spirits, we have those material forces, we have the life, everything is distributed, nothing else is given, but there ought to be a being which can recognize, can appreciate and even love the whole being. And therefore, he said, well, there was a being created to whom nothing was given, because no archetype, nothing was left to give. And therefore, everything was given in the freedom to choose where human want to develop to, because human can go everywhere. He was put into the middle of the earth in order to go to the macrocosmos or to the microcosmos, to have the best view from all around and then to choose. And now let's quote Giovanni Pico della Mirandola. He said, "O Adam, no visage proper to your own, and no endowment properly your own, nothing, in order that whatever place, whatever form, whatever gifts you may, with premeditation, select, these same you may have and possess through your own judgment and decision. The nature of all other creatures is defined and restricted in laws. So we know the laws of the celestial bodies, we know the instincts of the animal world, we know the law of nature, right? And we have laid down you by contrast. So human contrasts everything determined. By your own free will. So human has a free will. To whose custody we have assigned you. Trace for yourself the lineaments of your own nature. I have placed you at the very center of the world, so that from the vantage point you may, with greater ease, glance around and look on all the world and what the world contains. We have made you creation neither of heaven, neither of earth, neither immortal nor mortal, neither immortal nor mortal. We have, in order that you may, as freedom again, and be a proud shaper of your own being. So you are the shaper of your own being. Whatever you want to be, you choose for yourself. Fashion yourself in the form you may prefer. This is also the reason why we dress differently, why all those cultures have developed a different dressing. You may choose the form proper to you. It will be in your power to descend to the lower forms of life. You will be able, through your own judgment, to rise again to the superior orders of life, which is divine. Upon man, at the moment of his creation, God has bestowed seeds, pregnant with all possibilities, the germs of every form of life. Whichever of these man shall cultivate, so it's again in your hand and you are free to cultivate those seeds, these same fruit will bear fruit in him. So basically you are responsible for your own deeds and for your own characteristics. If people say, well, I cannot behave otherwise, I'm just like that, this is not true, because human is free. You are free. Or meaning you can be free, but also you can choose to descend. And now it goes on. If vegetative, he will become a plant. If it's sensual, he will become brutish. If rational, he will reveal himself a heavenly being. If intellectual, he will be an angel. And the Son of God. And now this is also interesting, dissatisfied with all lots of all creatures, so either heavenly or animalish or earthly, if he's dissatisfied with all lots of creatures, he should recollect himself into the very centers of his own unity. He will there become one spirit with God in the solitary darkness of the Father, who is set above all things, himself transcendent all creatures. So human is free to go anywhere. And everyone you see in society is free as well. And since you are free, my dear fellow people, I never want to recommend you anything or place anything upon your freedom. All the ballast which you carry around by the cultivation and socialization of your environment is already much. And in order to be free, you sometimes need to get free. Get rid of all the ballast and all of the ideas you have taken from the others, and really think for your own self all things through. And because you're placed in the middle of the world, to look around and you can go everywhere. You are free. And this is the dignity of the human being. They are free. They have not any special gifts. They, in contrast, develop them all by yourself. You cultivate yourself. And with this freedom, I wish peace unto you. Please have a good night. And if it was fruitful for you in any way, then please give a like. This will drive me to make more of this content available. Goodbye.